They're our future teachers, they're our future ministers, they're our future doctors, lawyers, and presidents, and so on and so on. Sacrifices and investments must be made so that they can be the best future leaders and citizens that they can be. And I think it's all going to begin with this coalition, and I'm so proud to be a part of this coalition and the alliance. We're so proud, so that what happened in the city of Inkster, whatever we can do, we must not ever let that happen again in this state. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Stevens. I'm excited to see Ms. Carrie Moss, Executive Director of the ACLU Michigan, here with us, one of our sister organizations, always in the struggle, who is also doing some very great work here in the city of Highland Park. So we're excited that ACL will join this important effort. At this time, please welcome the President of the ACLU Michigan, Ms. Carrie Moss.
Good afternoon, everybody. So Nelson Mandela also said, there's no keener revelation of society's soul than the way it treats its children. I was reminded of that earlier this summer when here in Highland Park, a beautiful, amazing collection of books on African history was thrown out of the Highland Park High School. You all remember that? And thrown in a dumpster. Wow. Can you imagine? In a district where 90% of the 11th graders are not reading proficient, that anybody would think it was remotely in the world of possibility to throw out an incredible treasure trove that the people of this city put together for its children. So that's why we're filing litigation. Now, I hope you've all heard that we, in July of 2012, represented 8 children in this city, and what we've argued is that they have a right to learn to read. Not a radical idea, is it? That as a result of 12 years of education, that children know how to read, because we know they have to read if they're going to read to learn. Now, this lawsuit requires that every child who's not reading at grade level be provided with individualized intervention to bring them to grade level. But this is not something that the state has ever done. They've never enforced this law. They've never dedicated the resources. And now, as emergency managers are taking over districts and budgets are getting balanced, even fewer resources are making it to these children. There are no quality controls over the charter schools that districts like Highland Park are being turned over to. There's not enough money or attention given to the conditions of the building and the environments that these children are learning in. We hope that you'll support this litigation. We know that lawsuits don't solve complicated social problems. It's groups like this, it's coalitions like this, it's people like you coming together, going to Lansing, demanding the most basic right, the right to learn to read. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carey. At this time, we'll hear from our young people. We believe that there should be no conversation centered around education without students properly having a seat at the table to bring influence, to bring insight into the conversation. And we're very excited to be joined by 2 students today. First, we will hear from Youth Voice, Ms. Chanel Kitchen, followed by Rasul Zaki.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chanel Kitchen. I'm currently 16 years old, and I attend Youth Prep High School.
And my name is Rasul Zaki, and I'm currently 16 years old. I attend Allen Academy.
I am a member of Youth Voice, a project of the Harriet Tubman Center. And today, Rasul and I are here for a purpose. That purpose is to reclaim the promise of public education so that my peers and I will receive a quality education to succeed in life. We are not reaching our full potential to success because of harsh policies that are pushing us out of school. I'm going to discuss today zero tolerance. Zero tolerance is a policy that punishes youth for any infraction of a rule, regardless of accidental mistakes, ignorance, or extenuating circumstances. Today, at this very moment, schools in Michigan use this policy for minor infractions like not having your ID card, being out of dress code, and also truancy. But the original purpose was for harsher situations with weapons and physical altercations. It's frustrating for students to get suspended and not have a voice to express their side of the story. But I'm here today not to complain. I'm here to acknowledge that there are solutions. The first one, it's simple. Modify zero tolerance. Also, get conflict resolution training, such as restorative practice in Michigan schools, so that we will have alternatives to suspensions and expulsions. If we modify zero tolerance and get support for our young people, we will see, as a state and as a nation, more students in school and off the streets, better test scores, and the opportunity to compete with the rest of the world. Join Youth Voice and our allies today to get zero tolerance modified on this National Day of Action for Education, so we can reclaim the promise of public education. Youth Voice and our allies is working to get zero tolerance policy modified. The question is, are you going to support the youth of Michigan, the youth of this nation? Are you? Thank you.
Rasul said Chanel said it so well that dare not step to the microphone. And he just said ditto. And I thank Chanel for that prophetic voice from a student's perspective, and certainly working in collaboration with labor and community and students is an important component, and that is our teachers. Joining us from Cesar Chavez is Mr. Sean Harden.
Good afternoon. My name is Sean Harden, and I've been a science teacher at Cesar Chavez Academy for over 12 years. As a teacher, of course, I want my students to receive a quality education just as I have. I grew up in Battle Creek, Michigan, went to the Math Science Center as well as high school at the same time. Took some college courses before I graduated, and then went to the University of Michigan, where I used the same physics book at the University of Michigan that I used in the 9th grade. So that was quality to me. I knew everything before I even got there. And I think every student deserves that opportunity. For us at Cesar Chavez, being involved in having a voice in decisions that will impact our students. I know the type of education that I can deliver, but sometimes it's difficult when things are restrained. You have high stakes testing, and I want to make sure my students can think. I want them to be able to learn, to be able to be productive citizens and move about the country and just be a lifelong learner, not just pass the science new test. Because it's rote memorization. If you remember the vocabulary,